Hi, my friends and family. In this video, I ask you the gnarly question. If all I've told you here, or a lot of it is true, why didn't you end it? Why didn't more people take their lives out? And conversely, if all I said is true about the possibility and the goodness of creation and human form, then why aren't more people enlightened and living their dreams? Because it's just a fact of how it is.
Now, right now, right now, we got to get it right now, right now, right now, got to get it right now.
So, if what I've told you on this channel is true, why didn't you end it? Why are you still here? On the other hand, if I'm so smart, why aren't I in some enlightened community building a respectful future? Well, we have to do it remotely first until we've done the shadow work. Well, the answer is, of course, a lot more people have been dying and taking themselves out than anyone wants to admit. And obviously, also secretly, people know that I am right in their subconscious, and secretly people feel that maybe there is infinite potential in the human spirit, in the human body. Maybe it is possible that we were made in the image of a respectful divine being who gave us free will originally. Maybe that is secretly the truth, and they don't want to admit it, and they don't know how to get out of slavery or have the psychological discipline. They know I'm right. If the world is really so bad as I have said, why didn't more people take themselves out? Or conversely, if this sphere Gaia and the Christ soul is so great, why haven't more souls been creative, escaped the matrix, built new worlds of peace and communities? Of course, the covertly obvious is because people love you, and the conquistadores love the Cathars, so they burn down those villages. Your narcissistic wife, friends, dad, mommy, or the government or church, maybe they love you, but most of the time their Luciferic personality style has messed up the freedom movement, if and when it could. The truth is, they have. There are beings. The mainstream media doesn't want you to know about these things. There are small pockets who have been enlightened and created brilliant, beautiful, thriving, enlightened communities. The entire inverted matrix, slave-based, archon-controlled mentation is suicide. This is a really important thing you're going to have to face, and I'm going to have to face 100% if we want to ever get out of it. Okay? The way it was designed. Yet today I watched a video, Jordan Peterson now has almost 8 million subscribers on YouTube, and the way that he went from being already a handsome, talented, popular Harvard professor who wrote fat books to being a YouTube superstar with 8 million subscribers almost is because about 6 years ago, when they made a national law in Canada that there's 99 different genders, and as a psychology professor at the University of Ottawa, he was required to honor all of these 99 genders. He simply questioned, he said, I don't know what to address somebody before they tell me, and they started to bite his head off. So he became famous for questioning the insane, woke narrative, and now has almost 8 million subscribers on YouTube. And today I watched him interview another super courageous person on the front lines of this psychological battle named Michael Schellenberg. a San Francisco psychologist who has the courage to write multiple books exposing the multifarious inherent crimes involved in voluntary surgical castration of minors, particularly, for example. Well, guess what, folks? They, them, there know they are really a soul in a human body. Possibly with, if they really do the shadow work, possibly with major dark spirit possession problems. It's just how it is. That's just what's happening. I can't see how it would be any other way. If they identify, if they insist that you call them, I am they, them over there. I am them and they and those things over there. I'm not here. I mean, that whole idea that that's their identity just shows you how far gone up into the bunghole of the black hole of the dark ones these tragically, sadly lost souls actually are. But these men are courageous, being Jordan Peterson and Michael Schellenberger, are courageous generals on the front line of this psychological war, which is actually physical in the case of gender reassignment surgery or surgical castration voluntarily. We had the orchestrated events of 2020 for those of you that wanted to go out like Hollywood lemmings and just walk off the cliff with all of your loved ones into the oblivion sea of insane nanotech experiments, needle tech experiments. We have all of those who deal still with the hospitals. I mean, I had 5 days in the ER after, I had my fall. They said I fell over and a PG&E truck hit me, supposedly. And did you know that hospital accidents are, before 2020, were considered the 4th most common cause of death in the USA? Okay? Who knows what it is now? We have those amongst us who take black magic, big farm, Kia medicines, even after the Freedom of Information Act made it so that they have to say at the end of the television commercials all of the side effects or ways that it obviously directly kills you, which they call side effects. We have wars, we have racism, we have classism, sexism, and more popularly, staying caught up in narcissistically abusive relationships. All of these are slow forms of death. We have the whole trillion-dollar cancer business, like taking chemotherapy and all that. You take these poisons that are going to destroy your body, and then the doctor says you have 6 months to live. Well, that's a whole nother form. There are many ways, if you don't want to go as, say, radically and overtly as Kurt Cobain. Most folks in car accidents will tell you openly, right before it happened, I knew something was going to happen. I felt something off. I knew something was going to happen. What does that mean? That means that they were psychically participatory in the accident. If they didn't do anything to stop it, the truth is far, far, far more people are suicidal, especially in the last 4 years, in officially approved and sanctioned ways. Just like voluntary castration surgery or a lot of forms of surgery and drugs. On the other side of the dark's control, we have fentanyl, which has taken out several of our favorite luminary pop stars like Tom Petty and Prince. And now another flesh-eating street drug. How normal for the dark side to come up with such technology. And we have the most pathetically obvious, big-time attempt to cover their own tracks with misnomers or changing labels around. SAD used to stand for seasonal affective disorder, like you get depressed when it's the winter and you don't get the sunlight, which is often geoengineered anyway. And right in the year 2020 or 2021, they changed SAD now as sudden adult death syndrome. Sudden adult death syndrome is through the roof, and yet far more people know I'm right secretly than ever admit. Far more percentage of the people who see these videos know I'm right than would ever admit, and many dozens of people will never watch my show because they don't want to face some of these truths I talk about. Life can really become a canvas for whatever harmless work you want to paint on your canvas. You got to live in the right spot where they're not going to take all of your hours for the rent. But it's a possibility that your life could be your canvas if you have that courage, especially nowadays. What kind of harmless picture would you paint if you could? Well, do the shadow work and you can do that. A lot of people who have seen these videos subconsciously know that what I say is true. They know the respectful one goddess, Christ Sophia, is really deep in all creation. So maybe they remember not to do it. Okay? Deep down they know humanity is not only mutable, programmable, as Mark Passio says, a bunch of mostly box slaves, but secretly underneath, especially for those of you who have uncovered any of the original Christ DNA in your subconscious, secretly underneath all of the psychic garbage, the rays of the soul of Christ expressing are within us all, potentially and possibly. Maybe they could experience a moment of being the brilliant light of Christ's love in action if they simply remember or just get their heads out of their ass. They know the Dark Lords have done a masterful job in making over and through wars and trauma bonds for millenniums. Humans, they're box slaves and bloody energy drinks, sometimes literally. But maybe shockingly as it will be for all of those who have yet to face these truths, when everyone finally accepts it, it's over. Like I said several videos back. The reign of soul-sucking vampires will end one way or the other, and the truth of Christ within will begin to be known in the masses in over 51% of the world. And the CIA on YouTube is going to help in some cases where people can censor themselves. Look at free energy machines. Look at solar panels. See how they've attempted to filter these and use middlemen and make it like Tesla cars only for the rich. See how they've put paywalls on your access to information, and see how they've attempted to filter these and control your access to the internet. Yet through these tools, what I call UTAT till it's only us, I have been reminded of the ancient and future truth. Through the internet, I have learned vast amounts of the ancient and thus memories of the future truth of humans' freedom, sovereignty, and inherent powerful creatorhood. Of course, I learned it experientially. Those handful of songs I wrote that were way better melodies than I could have come up with. If you dig deep into research, if you're willing to do the research and the shadow work and learn to discern, examples abound. Okay? I was watching Laura Eisenhower on her Rumble channel, Divine Mother Time, recently, and she had an interview with a man named Fernando Vasa, and the video is called Design a Home as a Time Machine. He's having a course on this starting tomorrow. I might have to take this course. His work is awesome, and the way that he thinks is so far outside of the Decepticons' mind control that it actually helped to heighten my frequency to watch the video and take in the information. I was actually sunbathing here in the backyard while I did it, which certainly helped. His work is awesome. He talked about Damon's Her. It's a community in northern Italy. I've seen a book about it, and This man dug out sacred temples out of a sandstone mountain to begin to build it, and it's a whole village now, and they have their own currency, organic farm. People who talk about what we talk about on YouTube as far as psychology, all that in a town. There's no way the lockdown Agenda 2030 could get rid of Damenshur, because it's grounded into the new fifth dimensional reality, a whole town. Okay? Imagine Nikola Tesla, John Coltrane, Jimi Hendrix, the Coen brothers, Bob Marley, all of these amazing creators will be basically like normal citizens of the future. Normies of the future will be as brilliant and oneness aware, creative as these people were. They were just the harbingers, they were just the messengers, they were the prophets to show us. It is truly the best and worst, most potentially amazing time or moments to be alive in a flesh suit ever. Okay? I agree with Andrew Bartzis when he says that we should maybe have hundreds of different realities on this planet rather than just the one matrix and several gnarly rebellious offshoots. And we are discovering and exploring it all now, exponentially, up until that moment when possibly, the Dark Lords pull the plug, delete all these videos, make us go without the internet for 4 days. Whether that happens or not. Ideally, we'll be grounded in the fifth dimension by then. If you enjoyed this comment, if you enjoyed this video, make sure that if you haven't already, subscribe, like, give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what you feel about what I said, and together we can and will create a creative centric world, a world for humans when they're born to be a part of the divine creation, to flourish, as Buddha said, to flower as human souls and human bodies in the potential of making this heaven on earth, making this divine, respectful, moral reality come to fruition when we're willing to do the work it takes to do that. It's going to happen. Welcome to the real second coming of Christ, folks. Welcome to the real resurrection of the Christ within human souls, right in the middle of this time when we are put on the cross by the dark ones. If at all possible, create a great day, my family. Loving you.